There's a great deal of excitement at Chaminade these days. That's because there's a new head coach in town. Eric Bovaird takes over the storied program that has a reputation for giant killings in college basketball. Over the years, Chaminade has knocked out the likes of #1 Virginia in one of the greatest upsets in sports history. And Oklahoma, who the Silver Swords knocked off last year in the Maui Invitational. And also last season, the Swords went on to earn a share of the Pac-West title on their way to the NCAA Regionals. Bovaird knows all about this history, but has an interesting history of his own, with a basketball background that goes back to his childhood days growing up in Pennsylvania, all the way to his college playing days in West Virginia.
My dad actually, one day he took a metal tennis racket and took it to the metal shop teacher, and they bent it over. He put some strings on it, hung it up on the wall, and my brother and I started playing basketball.
Where was this?
This was in Ebensburg, Pennsylvania. My dad was a teacher at Central Cambria High School, and I was probably about 6, and my brother was pretty young at the time. And my dad gave us a little red playground ball. We mapped out the key and everything in our house, and we started playing basketball. And we played every day and every night, and that's where it began. I had very little offers coming out of high school. Had aspirations, of course, of getting a college scholarship, and so I decided I didn't have any really good offers out of high school, so I decided to go to a junior college, Butler Community College, right outside of Pittsburgh. And that year, I grew almost 4 inches. So my prospects became a lot larger that year, and I had several offers, and West Liberty was one of them, a Division II, right outside of Wheeling, West Virginia. And my dad and I took a visit down there, absolutely loved it, and it just started maturing more and becoming stronger, and was lucky enough to be a couple-time All-American, and was on a great team.
Bovaird both played and coached at West Liberty University in West Virginia, where the Hilltoppers became known as one of the highest scoring teams in recent NCAA history. Last year's team averaged nearly 112 points a game, with a high of 157 points in one contest. West Liberty was #1 in the nation until a Pac-West team, BYU Hawaii, ended their unbeaten run in the national semifinals.
Actually, everybody asked me about that game coming from, we were 33-0 and #1 in the country at the time, and we played a terrible game. We did. I give it to BYU, though. We underestimated Jet Chang's ability in the open court. And some of their other guys from tapes that we had watched, we kind of underestimated their ability, and wow, they played well against our pressure, and Jet Chang was just unbelievable. I think he had 43 points against us, maybe something along those lines. But it ended up being a great game. I think we tied it up at 97 apiece, maybe, and they ended up pulling ahead from there. But it was a barn burner. Yeah, it was an incredible experience at West Liberty. About 8 years ago, I was a high school teacher and coach in South Carolina, right outside of Myrtle Beach, and West Liberty hired a new basketball coach. His name was Jim Crutchfield, and immediately he called me and said, "Eric, it's time for you to come home. I need you to be my assistant coach." And so I decided to pack my bags and move back to West Virginia. And I remember one of our first meetings, he said, "Eric, we want to play the most unique style of basketball that's played. We're going to pick up, we're going to trap and chase, and we're going to get really good at transition basketball. And then the key is we're going to force everybody to play it." And he had a vision. You know, at first, I tell him all the time, I thought he was a little bit crazy. I thought, we're going to get beat every day, 120 to 100. But through that journey, we kind of mastered a few things, and he's an incredible coach.
Bovaird is hopeful that he can turn this Chaminade program into a high-scoring machine too, but knows that those kinds of triple-digit numbers will come only after much practice, as well as recruited players who understand his system. In the meantime, the new coach is excited to be living in Hawaii and appreciating his new coaching gig at Chaminade.
Every day, and my dad asked me, what's it like over there? I said, about the same as it was the first day, 85, sunny, with a cool breeze blowing. So the weather, we're absolutely loving it. My wife and little girl, and my wife's pregnant again, we're really enjoying it here. I can't wait for my family to come over and visit. And the people of Hawaii are so friendly, and they take you in as family right away. And it's been a great experience so far. We're really happy to be here.
Eric Bovaird and the Chaminade Silver Swords, one of the great coaches and great teams to watch this year in the Pac West.